Hi, it's Sarah. Welcome to my second video chapter of my exploratory project. So I know I've been playing around a lot with defending fear in a way and talking about it in happy contexts, saying that it can be a good thing when XYZ happens or so on. For example, in my first essay, when I looked at Carnival, I explored the idea that fear can strengthen you when you accept it and embrace it. And then my second essay explored Prospero and his ascent to justice, which was motivated by fear. However, the more I analyze these texts and read new ones for this class, the more my view of fear starts to contend with my writing partner Edwin's original idea that fear is a negative emotion which demands to be overcome. Though I've found instances of fear leading to happy results, I've realized I need to make a vital distinction here. It's not fear itself that makes things good. It's the way one personally goes about dealing with the fear. Regardless, though, fear is still an obstacle. Think about it in terms of real life, though. Right before you're about to get up and give a big speech, you're nervous, you're anxious, you're fearful. It wasn't necessarily fear, though, that made that speech fabulous and gave you a great attitude. Fear was just something you had to get over in order for you to get in there, be fabulous, and get out. Basically, what I'm saying is you don't owe your fabulousness to fear in that scenario, because fear didn't help you give that fabulous speech. That was all you, completely separate from fear. I think what I've decided from all this is that fear itself, the raw emotion, is vicious. It's a vice because it is an inherently inhibiting factor whose aim is to trip people up. It makes you less powerful.
It paralyzes you.
To bring some context into this, let's look at Mary Shelley's Wretch. One of the scariest scenes in all of literature is the one where the wretch tells the creator that he will be there on his wedding night. He drops the iconic line, "Beware, for I am fearless and therefore powerful." Wait, what? Hang on, that's important! This is so antithetically contrasted with his creator, Victor, who contains so much fear that he is paralyzed, like a fear-engulfed zombie. He is so influenced by fear that it ends up taking over his mind. Victor says, "I traversed the streets without any clear conception of where I was, or what I was doing. My heart palpitated in the sickness of fear, and I hurried on with irregular steps, not daring to look about me." Victor's so scared he can't even walk.
He can't even walk.
The saddest part is he remains this fearful throughout the entire book. So what does this tell us? Well, it tells us that the wretch is a lot stronger emotionally than Victor is because the wretch doesn't have fear. Well, that seems important. In other words, fear makes you weak. It prohibits you from executing actions that you wouldn't normally execute, if you let it. That's the important part. This is where you find out someone's strength. If someone can get past the fear of striking out and just play the game, then they have proven their strength, despite the possession of fear that they once had. So what I take away from this is the central idea that although fear is vicious out of context, it may be exercised virtuously under virtuous conditions or motives. In Victor's case, fear just remains a vice for him because it just turns his life upside down and he isn't strong enough to moderate it. I think this downward spiraling behavior reminds me of another text, Pontecorvo's Battle of Algiers, in the way that overall, the Algerians fear the French so much that they feel violence is the only answer left. So they let fear cause them to do unhelpful things like kill French police officers. This definitely doesn't solve any problems for anyone, and if anything, only invokes more fear. And on an even more individual level, we see that one innocent Algerian in the streets being taken away by police because the Algerian is too afraid to even stand up for his own innocence. His actions show his weakness, and we thus see that fear is only vicious for him. My previous essays have shown examples of fear being exercised virtuously, though, and I intend to explore more examples in my next essay. My main idea at this point, though, is that fear is vicious out of context, but may be exercised virtuously under virtuous conditions.